In this video, we are going to be installing a short shifter from IRP into the Evo 5. So back when I had my Megane, I fitted a shifter from CAE to the car, and it was an awesome piece of kit. Does nothing for performance, does nothing for shifting speed or anything. We need to get it out of the way straight away. It does nothing. All it does is looks cool and feels cool. And let's be honest, I would say that it was probably one of the best mods in the Megane because, as I've said in some of my other videos, if you do something a lot, like changing gear, touching a steering wheel, you should have the best kit you can for that task. And it should be as kind of much fun as possible. So fitting one of these short shifters is total sense to me. So roll on to having the Evo, and surprise, surprise, there's not a lot of videos and not a lot of information out there that I could find about short shifters for the Evo 456. I think a lot of people probably don't do that or didn't do that on these cars back in the day when people were tuning them, because I'm kind of late to the party doing it in 2022. But you can get CAE, which I've had before, so I know the quality. You can get Cooler Works, and the other company I found was IRP, who are in Latvia or Lithuania. The problem with the CAE and the Cooler Works looks like a kind of cheaper version of the CAE, is that you can't run the plastic trim, with like the gator and the boot. You can't keep that, or you've got to modify it a lot. And I thought, I want to keep my car OEM Plus, so I want to try and keep the plastic in place. And apparently the IRP best supports that kind of plan. So that's why I went for the IRP. So anyway, it's arrived. It arrived this morning in DHL. So let's get it out of the box first, take a look at it and see what it weighs and stuff. And then we can kind of get on to getting it in the car. So here is our box from IRP. First thing I would say is this is very, very light. I'm amazed. I would guess that this is sub 2 kilos, but we will see when we get it out. I have to get the scales from the house, so I'll have to weigh it a little bit later. But yeah, let's get it out of the box and have a look at it, shall we? Okay, that's probably the quickest unboxing I've ever done. I did notice that when I bought this, a few people did say, there's no instructions. How on earth are you supposed to fit it? And yeah, this is all that arrived in the box. 2 stickers, always useful, and the shifter itself. I know it's probably not going to be difficult to fit, but it would have been useful to have some kind of instructions, just to kind of give you an idea of an adjustment or something like that. But yeah, we will see. I think if you adjust the spring, I don't think you can probably adjust the spring, but you can see already that if it self-centers and it's quite tough and it's kind of a nice feeling to it. And I'm assuming that these here, I'm assuming that you don't really want to be adjusting this, that the only thing you want to be adjusting, which is maybe why there's no instructions, is these screws here, which stop the movement. So I'll leave that open for now. So now we've got that rather underwhelming unboxing done. Let us get stuff out of the car and then we can kind of see how it fits and yeah, weigh it obviously and go from there. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is, the seat's already out because I'm crossing this video with another video where I'm doing other things. But obviously it's going to make it easier. We need to get out the rear center console and we need to get out the front center console, and then we can get to the gear mechanism underneath, and then we can get that bit removed. So let's do that. It's very easy to do on the Evo, as is removing everything on the interior of this car. So it won't take long at all. Okay, so that's the centre tunnel out the way, the plastic, so very easy to remove. So the last thing we need to do now is get rid of the shifter. And that is just going to be 4 bolts, and these just pop out and then these pins pop out from there. So let's get that done. Okay, here we are now with both shifters, the original, very floppy.
Oh, behave.
And the new one, very easy to remove. We will weigh these, see what the difference is, but I think it's probably actually going to be pretty similar. I don't think there's going to be any weight saving or any weight difference between them. But now we've got the plastic off, I've also removed the gaiter, the boot, which is just held in by 4 screws from the underside like that, and then you just push this through. I've removed that. That is not going to fit with this, and I don't really want to modify this to make it fit. So I'm going to come up with another solution, which I've already started here. I'm probably going to try and make like a carbon surround for this, because thankfully, if we drop this over here, just prop it up like that, it fits. So there's no need on the Evo 5, I can confirm, to modify your plastic trim. The IRP fits perfectly in the space. Obviously need to make something to hide it a little bit, I think, but other than that, top result. So now we can get this test fitted into the car and see how it kind of feels and how the gears and stuff kind of are engaged, and then it will be making a nice little blank for it, I hope. We will see how we get on with that. But before we do that, let us first check the weights. So the OEM shifter is 1.053 and the IRP is, damn it, it's heavier. Okay, so the shifter is now mounted in the car, and it does need setting up, of course, so it's very disappointing. There's no instructions whatsoever to tell you what you can adjust to achieve what, so I will email IRP about that. Looks fantastic, but the other problem is that sadly this don't go over that, like, at all. So I thought, oh, it's going to fit perfect, brilliant, but no, it needs modifications at the top because it won't actually sit where it's supposed to sit because it's fouling on the front of the IRP, and it's going to need modifications on the side because the tie rod at the side that engages reverse and things, that is fouling when you go for reverse. That's fouling on the side of the plastic, so bit pissed off that I'm going to have to modify my plastic after all, so I could have just bought a CAE or something instead. But there you go. We don't know what these things will be like until we get them because no one else has done it or said about it before. So I'm going to go now, I'm not going to video it, I'm going to go now and modify the plastic trim here. Hopefully that shows up on the video because it's like a cave in here. I'm going to modify this now with the fronts here where I've marked up. I'm going to make it fit. And once I know it fits and I'm happy with it, then we'll kind of rejoin the action with it fitted, and then we can work out from there how I want to then tidy up and make it not look shit.
3:28 a.m.
Okay, so this is where we've got to right now. So hopefully this comes off okay on the camera because it is dark, but this is now into position and I've cut the front edge there, I've extended it, so that's about maybe 20mm more than it was. But you can see that you've got this gap here, which is about 4cm, something like that, to fill. So yeah, I mean, as it is, probably okay, and it doesn't foul on anything else, so that is kind of as much as it needs to be. But I'm gonna have a quick play now, not gonna video it, see if I can make some kind of surround for it. So I'll be back in a sec with either a solution or me saying, nope, I've done the best I can do and that's it, unfortunately. So let's see, shall we?
Eventually.
Alright, so many hours later, or maybe about 3 hours later, mucking about with cardboard and then mucking about with plastic. I've kind of advanced to making shit out of plastic now to try and get the right sort of fit because the cardboard was too soft. I have ended up with, if you can see it, 'cause it's black plastic. This is now my surround that I think is going to work. So this is my template. I am now going to go and make this out of carbon. I'm not going to video me making it out of carbon because you've seen me make stuff before out of carbon and other things. So I'm going to come back with it made and we can hopefully, well, saying that, I'm not sure what I can show you, but what I will do is I'll make it out of carbon. I'll show you the part made out of carbon and then we can fit that part up to the center console and then we can hopefully get this thing slid on and then we're done. I have removed the side tie rod here because that was just proving to be very annoying, so that went between there and there, and again it is adjustable. IRP, sort your life out. We need instructions for these things about how to adjust this stuff because it's just not clear. Anyway, I'll go and get that bit done and then yeah, let's pick up the action again, as I keep saying, in a few seconds after SpongeBob with the carbon part made.
A few inches later.
So voila, we have made it. It's the third iteration, made out of plastic, made out of cardboard, and this is what I've ended up with here. So it clears the side pin here and it gives enough room at the bottom for the shifter to move forwards and stuff. And then on the back side, it's held in place in the original mounting holes for the front kind of console bit and where the rear gaiter was. So yeah, I think that's going to work. So let's get it in the car and yeah, then we need to go out and test the thing and set the thing up and hope that it all works. Okay, so that is it fitted. All of the carbon is happening here now. I've adjusted these so it doesn't foul on here and stuff. Everything's back together. Just waiting for the dash to boot up. Hopefully you can see this okay. I thought sticking the camera on my head was the best way to film having a bit of a go in this. So yeah, let's get the car out and see what it is like. car get up to temperature a little bit more. Not sure if you could hear that, but my fuel pump, I believe, is making some very strange noises. It's a Hellcat fuel pump in the car, and I'm not sure if it was new on the car, whether it was used, but I am wondering whether the fuel pump is on its way out. But anyway, so far the shifter, I mean, it all works, and yeah, it's just quite a nice, precise feel to it, as you'd imagine. I mean, it doesn't do anything extraordinary, it's just a nice, more direct, solid mechanical feel, and it's just like the CAE that I had before. So changing gear, you know, it's just really, it's really nice. It's hard to kind of say anything else about it other than it's really nice. So I'll just let the car warm up a little bit more, and then we'll put our foot down a little bit, going through the gears, just to sort of have a feel for what it's like shifting at speed. But yeah, so far so good. It works, at least. Okay, back now in the garage. Not the greatest footage, I'll admit, and not the longest footage, but I'm hoping it gave a little sense of the shifter. I mean, if you've experienced or you've owned a CAE or a 0.1 or a Cooler Works or an IRP yourself, then you'll know that they all are pretty much the same. Like I say, it doesn't actually do anything for shift speed or improve performance or anything like that in any way, shape or form. All it does is looks cool and feels cool, and it's a much more positive and direct and sort of manual analog feeling. So it just makes changing gear more pleasurable, and at the end of the day, that's worth a lot in my opinion. So there you go, all done and dusted now. Thank you for watching. Any questions, give me a shout. But yeah, on to the next video.